Please welcome to the stage co-hosts of Rise and Collision respectively, Casey Lau and Sunil Sharma.
Toronto. Okay.
Toronto.
So hey everyone, welcome. This is the 2019 Pitch semifinal. I'm Sunil Sharma, the co-host of Collision. Before I turn it over to Casey, I'm going to ask 20 of the world's top venture capitalists to come out on stage and just file up onto these seats behind me.
Come on out. I'm Casey Lau, the co-host of Rise in Hong Kong.
So what happened is yesterday, 60 of the very best startups here at Collision pitched their heart out on our pitch stage. And so these were the group rounds, and we're left with the 7 top finalists from those 60 companies that are going to come out here today. Those victorious 7 companies are going to be joined by 7 pre-selected startups, pre-selected by the conference, by judges, and they're all 14 are going to be pitching right in front of you now. What we're looking for are 3 winners. Whoever wins today will be contesting in the pitch final, which will be right here on center stage tomorrow at 12:40 p.m. So the pressure's on.
All right, and they're being observed on stage by our mega panel of 20 judges who are still not here. Maybe go back and save them and make sure they come out.
Any VCs here? We may need 20 VCs to join us on stage.
All right, these 20 VCs, here they come. They are the people who decide who will go on to the next round. So if you're wondering how this is all going to be scored, we're going to break it down for you. Every judge will be given each startup a mark out of 10. Our judges will be taking into consideration several factors. These are product, potential to disrupt, competitive advantage, team, financials, and last but not least, quality of the pitch.
So one difference between the earlier rounds is that right now we're not going to have any Q&A from the judges. So what that means is that the startups will genuinely only have the 3 minutes to impress and to convince this panel that they deserve one of those 3 coveted spots at tomorrow's pitch grand final. So that's enough for me, enough from him. Let's start the competition with our first pitch. The first startup is a managed marketplace for secondhand baby and kids gear. It's called Goodbye Gear. So please welcome onto the stage, Kristin.
My goodness, there's a lot of you guys. When you have a baby, you end up accumulating so much stuff. But it's stuff you really need, sometimes only for a matter of months or even weeks. And then what do? You're left with a household full of stuff that has to go somewhere because you need room for the next set of gear for your child. And you'd think that parents would turn to sites like this: Facebook, Kijiji if you're Canadian, Craigslist. And I did once, because it's a terrible experience. You have to go back and forth in random messages with strangers, and then have an awkward negotiation about the price. And then you coordinate your schedules, and you put your kids in the car, and you drive across town to meet somebody in a parking lot. It's a complete waste of time, and unsafe. The thing is, this stuff is actually, we interviewed over 200 customers, and we found that our actual competition is this: your basement, your garage, or the local Goodwill. The thing is, this stuff is actually worth a lot of money. If you add it up, parents are spending $1,300 per child per year on gear that has another life in it. With 23 million families in our target profile in the US alone, that's over $15 billion in potential value sitting in basements every year. Not to mention, there's $7 billion in returned baby goods that retailers can't process, but we can. At Goodbye Gear, we've developed a new age marketplace that takes all the friction out of selling. And here's how it works. Our amazing wing moms process the items. Our wing moms are our secret to scaling. These are industry experts, and they are extremely efficient. They leverage the advanced technology that we've developed to streamline and standardize the posting process, including quality checks, pricing, custom descriptions, dimensions, etc., for over 3,000 SKUs in our database. And we've proven that the unit economics will scale. We've sold over 10,000 items in the last year, and we recently closed our $2 million round to accelerate our growth and expand into additional cities. Jessica and I are the co-founders. I'm an electrical engineer from Waterloo, and I have 15 years of experience in product management and product development. Jessica is my co-founder, and she's a management consultant with over 15 years of experience. But more importantly, we're moms, and so we get it. And we're on a mission to change the market for secondhand gear and make it accessible to all. Because we see a future where we're no longer buying cheap plastic, because we can buy and sell well-made, quality gear from us, giving awesome gear another life, and another life, and another life, saving not only Mother Earth, but your time and your money. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Goodbye Gear. A really strong start. So our second startup pitching is called Sky Hive, and they are enabling new ways of acquiring and developing talent. So let's welcome Sean onto the stage.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sean. I'm founder and CEO of Sky Hive, based in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. Raise of hands, how many of you have been on a water slide? Fantastic. That has nothing to do with this company, but I was actually a very successful corporate CEO. I was president of the world's largest water park company, a $250 million company. In Q1 2016, a series of events led me to take off my golden handcuffs and create Sky Hive. So you've probably, the slides that you had, the company I ran built. So this was the problem we're looking to solve. I realized I had 500 employees, and I actually had no idea what they were capable of. I knew what I had hired them to do, but I didn't actually know the full capability, and in fact, I didn't know my workforce's full capability, and therefore didn't realize my company's full capability. And so we set out to solve this problem. Yesterday, the Wall Street Journal wrote a report that thousands of companies across North America are suffering from trying to figure out how to reskill their workforce. And reskilling a workforce begins with understanding the skills of the workforce. So Sky Hive has built the most powerful deep learning technology to date. It's a real-time deep mind ontology of technical and soft skills. We're able to see the labor market in real time, and we're able to provide that information to people who want to discover their skills, their gaps, and how to transition through the workforce, and companies. That's what the product looks like. We roll that up into an enterprise technology that could be considered a workforce development technology or a talent management technology. Our early adopters include governments and large Fortune 2000 enterprises. Our first contract was with the Canadian military. We were contracted to help them increase the recruitment of women, specifically into the Canadian Armed Forces, and we actually proved concept and have now moved into a commercialization agreement. We've had great traction. We launched in June 2018. We recognized $150,000 in revenue in 2018. We've booked to date 1.56 in 2019 and are forecasted to have 4.2 in revenue. We've been able to generate an amazing funnel of Fortune 500s, Fortune 2000s through our relationships with the organizations you see on the screen, many of them based in the US. We're also a proud C100 company this year, and so joined Canada's Best down for 48 Hours in the Valley just recently. We have an amazing team. We practice what we preach, gender equality. We're a B corporation, and we believe greatly in social impact. We have a world-class advisory team, including the founding board member of Glassdoor and a number of ed tech, HR tech experts. And we're raising our first round of outside capital today, so thank you very much.
Well done, Sky Hive. Thanks, Sean. So before I welcome our next startup, just to remind the audience once again how these guys are scored. Each judge will be allocating the startups with a score for each of the following categories: product, potential to disrupt, competitive advantage, team, financials, and of course the quality of the pitch. So now let's welcome startup number 3, which is an AI and machine learning company that's based right here in Toronto that's called Chatter Research. And presenting for Chatter is Simon. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Thanks, Sunil. Hi, everybody. Audience, judges, this past weekend you visited the Gap or Home Depot or McDonald's, and you made a purchase and they handed you this and they said, please fill out our online survey. Maybe they even circled it for you. And I know that you took it home, you entered the 22-digit survey code, and you completed the online survey, right? Of course you didn't, nor does anyone else on the planet. And that's a problem because businesses invest a lot to better understand their customers to deliver the best possible customer experience. At Chatter, we said, well, why can't we engage those same consumers as they're walking out of the store or restaurant on the communication platform they prefer, SMS or voice assistant, to ask them about the experience they just had? And we have 30,000 of these conversations every day with people walking out of stores and restaurants across North America. And for the enterprise businesses we support, what they get is, first of all, a much larger data set. They hear from 8 times more customers, in rich quantitative and qualitative detail about the experience they just had. And in real time, we reduce the time it takes to get really useful insights that you can action from a month now to minutes. But there's another even more important problem we solve, and that is a survey, no matter how you deliver it, what you learn from it has everything to do with the questions you thought to ask. And we said we need to take a different approach. So we built an AI that currently listens for 850 topics specific to retail and restaurant customer experience, adding 20 to 30 topics every week, so that you as the consumer lead the conversation. You tell us what was relevant to your experience. And it's that approach that allowed us for a large North American retailer to discover the previously unknown number 1 and number 2 drivers of customer satisfaction and in-store conversion. And for a Fortune 500 who saw no improvements in customer satisfaction over 5 years, in the first 3 months to see a 17% increase in customer satisfaction. And so for us, the data capture feeds our database growth, and that's what allows us to deliver a caliber of insight that no other company can. We have grown our MRR 27% month over month on average for each of the past 12 months, working with some great enterprise customers. That's based off of 1,400 retail locations we have. That's 2 weeks old. 7,200 locations in pilot with some great Fortune 500s rolling out this summer. An amazing team. Wes, our veteran startup CTO, specializing in real-time data and analytics. Greg, who comes from the consumer research world, working with Home Depot, Ford, and Mazda, and myself, who've been involved in mobile technology startups for 20 years. Thank you. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Simon. That's awesome. Well done. Have we seen the winner of Pitch 2019 already, or are we still waiting? Okay, we're still waiting. Oh, no, we saw him already. Good. It's our next. Okay, so maybe it's our next startup. It's called Scholar, a full-stack open platform equipped to manage every aspect of animal care. And pitching from today is Lisa.
Scholar is a team of experienced trailblazers shaping the future of animal care with an all-in-one solution for animal management, from cats to cattle. Look at my dog Zuko with all these collars around his neck. This is the current state of animal technology. This is what drove us to create Scholar. We disrupted an entire industry previously with an open platform, and we're doing it again with animal management. 20 years ago, you traveled around with all these separate devices and a bucket full of cables. Some experienced trailblazers took all the radios, circuitry, and sensors from these separate devices and put them together in one device, the smartphone. That innovative technology completely transformed the way we live and work. Those same trailblazers enabled developers to expand this incredible device, resulting in a vibrant marketplace where consumers can access over 1 million apps to do just about anything. Here you see some examples of current available animal technology. The Scholar team has taken the radios, sensors, and circuitry from these separate devices and put them together in one device, a modular smart collar. And we are also enabling developers to expand the features of this incredible device, resulting in a vibrant marketplace where animal owners can have anything they need at any given time in one system. Open platforms make it incredibly easy to innovate applications, products, and services, resulting in rapid exponential growth. And as we grow, we will expand beyond companion animals to livestock, equine, swine, and more. This is Mary. She's accessing the Scholar Marketplace from within our mobile app, setting up care for her animals for things like tracking, training, food reordering, telemedicine, Alexa commands, and so much more. You can find me and ask me about the book afterwards. The backbone of any platform is, of course, the partners. And even though we've just come out of stealth mode, we already have multiple partnership agreements in place for things like a virtual veterinarian system that creates an end-to-end solution for the pet parent and the veterinarian simultaneously, a technology that detects the onset of labor in cattle, and a group that actually facilitates development on the Scholar platform. Instead of putting Scholar on an end cap in a big box store, we're going to leverage the distribution networks of our partners and reach consumers like you where you gather with your animals, what we call a one-to-many model. This is our incredible team, every one of us an experienced trailblazer with multiple exits in our past. And today we're focused on companion animals. Our next stop is profit, traceability, and sustainability for livestock. Thank you.
Well done, Lisa. That was great. Okay, let's welcome our next semi-finalist. Chelsea of Lollyware has pioneered the world's leading seaweed technology to replace single-use plastics at scale. So, come on out, Chelsea. Let's hear about it.
I'm gonna try the straw of the future. Take one and pass it down. Will you take the one? I'm Chelsea Fawn-Braganti, and I'm the CEO of Lollyware. And I'm obsessed with the ocean and its health and well-being, and what that means for humans. Lollyware is the leading seaweed-based material technology company worldwide with demand across 82 countries. And we're catalyzing a plastic-free movement. We believe that single-use plastics should never last forever. They should be designed to disappear. There are currently 5 trillion pieces of plastic floating in the ocean, and they often get ingested by our precious marine life with devastating consequences. Even in the deepest part of the ocean, in the amphipod's gut, there's plastic contamination. And plastic straws are no exception. We use and discard them in the billions every year. I am targeting the demise of the plastic straw as we know it. I asked myself, what would radical change look like? The straw of the future would be made from kelp, a carbon sequestering input. It would last for hours, not centuries, and after you use it, it would just disappear due to natural processes. My background's in global innovation for large CPG like Coke, Pepsi, and Nestle, where I focused on radical leaps towards a sustainable future versus incrementalism. We are a team of engineers, scientists, technologists, and innovators, and we combine the building blocks of seaweed, we call it seaweed intelligence, with innovative manufacturing methods to produce the disposables of the future. Kelp sequesters carbon. It's highly regenerative and renewable, and it can be the future of plastic. Our early adopters are Marriott and Pernod Ricard, but I've got demand for 18 billion straws. For every billion straws, that Lollyware replaces, that's $100 million in revenue for the company. But the straws are just the beginning. Lollyware will be creating and commercializing the future of single-use plastics made completely from seaweed. It's the perfect time to join Lollyware. I invite you to a plastic-free future. Thank you.
Thank you, Chelsea. That was awesome. Our sixth startup is a grading and analytics platform powered by AI called Crowdmark. Will they be victorious? Let's find out, everyone. Please welcome Michelle.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Michelle Cares, and I'm the CEO of Crowdmark. Crowdmark is a collaborative grading and analytics platform for higher education that enables educators to grade more effectively and students to get better feedback faster. The problem is that assessment in higher education hasn't changed for centuries. Take this photo from the University of Waterloo. This is a stack of exams in a locked room waiting to be graded. And this is how professors and TAs tackle that grading. They typically sit in that room for 5 hours in a marathon grading session, trading that paper back and forth and grading it with a red pen. Ask any educator and they'll tell you they hate grading because grading is painful. Crowdmark solves this by scanning all that paper into the cloud, enabling educators to grade anywhere, anytime, in an internet-connected device. Students can upload their assignments and receive their grades back via their mobile phone. Our patented solution takes care of all the tedium and administrative work associated with grading, enabling educators to leave richer, more formative feedback. Educators have spent 400,000 hours grading at our platform, and on average, they experience a 75% productivity gain. But that's not all. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. So think of the lost opportunity for data and analysis when all the student work and educator feedback is left on paper. Crowdmark's artificial intelligence analyzes vast data sets, generating unparalleled insights to improve learning outcomes. And this is what makes Crowdmark really special. We are the first education company to be able to track how students are performing on a question-by-question basis. And this is the key to personalized learning. In terms of traction, we're working with over 45 institutions as paying customers. We have over 500,000 users, and we've graded 40 million pages of student work. It's a huge data set. We've established a scalable and repeatable sales model to institutions. We're working with 20 institutions in the US, and in Canada, we're serving 27% of all undergraduate students. This is an $11 billion annual market opportunity in higher education alone. We have an experienced and talented team. I personally have over 15 years' experience building education technology startups, and my co-founder, James Colliander, came up with the idea. He's a professor of mathematics at the University of British Columbia. So in summary, we've established a repeatable and scalable sales process to institutions, and we're profitable. Our personalized learning will fundamentally transform education, and we have a talented team with a deep understanding of our industry. Thank you.
Okay, good job, Michelle. Nice one, Michelle. Okay, so stage audience, we're halfway through. So I don't know about you, but these pitches are phenomenal, and it's going to be close. I don't envy the panel. The next one, I really love this company. They're called Georgette Packaging. They're building a relationship between major packaging and manufacturers and consumer brands. Please welcome back Sarah.
Good evening. All right, the global packaging industry is worth $980 billion. That's nearly 3 times the size of the world's entire software industry. Packaging is something that everyone on Earth uses, pays for, and disposes of on a daily basis. There is no software replacement for packaging. This is an industry that is not going away. In fact, it's only growing with consumption. Disruption is drastically needed and inevitable. The same applies to our relationship with disposable packaging and our understanding of the tremendous impact it has on our environment. I believe it's our responsibility as business leaders to drive this change. Now, there are 2 primary ways to do so. Number 1 is by being principled and informed buyers and users of packaging. This is powerful and crucially needed. Number 2 is by reform from within the packaging industry itself. This is one of our primary goals at Georgette. Now, packaging can be disposed of more or less responsibly. More impactfully, it can be created more or less responsibly. We work with hundreds of consumer brands across North America to develop environmentally preferable packaging. Some of the ways in which we do so are by creating markets for recycled materials, by educating consumers about the realities of disposal, and by carbon offsetting all of our packaging. Georgette Packaging is backed by Y Combinator. We're doing $4 million in sales, and we're a 7-person team. We're also profitable. I believe there is a tremendous shift happening in our industry, that there is much work to be done, and that we are the best qualified team to do it. I invite anyone interested in improving the environmental standard of their packaging to get in touch. Sarah@georgettepackaging.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. All right, let's welcome our next startup. It's a sensor-based AI platform called Intuitive AI. And pitching for them today is Hassan. Come on, you can do better. Yeah.
Exciting. Awesome. 98% of whatever the world generates ends up in landfills, oceans, and third world countries. My co-founder and I come from Pakistan and India, and we've seen the effects that this trash has had. This happens because of contamination. What is contamination? Contamination is when you walk up to a bin and you misplace an item into the wrong bin. No matter if it's compostable or whatever, if you don't sort it out, it's going to rot into the landfills or the oceans. The City of Toronto estimates that 1% decrease in contamination can save the city almost $1 million. Again, that's just 1%. China has recently placed a massive ban on foreign contaminated waste. There are more bans coming up in different areas. When you trace the source of this trash, what you see is it's actually coming from public places like malls, universities, airports, where we spend a lot of our time. And they're really trying to reduce this because this can save them a lot of money. Recycling more saves them more money. But what they're faced with is the user, us. Completely unincentivized, walking towards a bin, uneducated most of the times, and confused. We're faced with something like this. It says easy as 1 to 3, but we know how confusing it is. That's why we created Oscar. Oscar sees what you've got in your hand, and using AI tells you how to sort it out. This is the world's first AI to change and nudge behavior. If you get it right, Oscar gives you a coupon. It rewards you. But again, this Oscar does get grouchy, so if you put it into the wrong bin, this Oscar shouts at you. Oscar was created to eliminate contamination, and that's exactly what we've been seeing it do. Oscar is 3 times better than a normal human-enabled garbage bin. If you're swinging past Vancouver International Airport, you'll check this out as well. The market interest has been absolutely phenomenal. We're now currently talking to 60+ malls, universities, airports, and Fortune 500 companies. Again, the market is absolutely massive because every commercial entity pays for trash and would want to save that money. But that's not it. What we're essentially building here is the Google of garbage. And Oscar could be attached at a manufacturing facility to help automate recycling. But the first thing it does is it helps the building get a lot smarter. So that data can help drive insights for the building. It can also help custodial staff know where exactly they need to be going. So they can walk up to an Oscar and they can tell them exactly what to do. That data could also help cities get a lot smarter because Oscar sees the brands that are being consumed. 98% of the world's trash is wasted. Let's make sure none of it is. Thank you.
Well done, Hassan. Okay, our next presenter, his name is Kevin. He's representing a company called OpenNode. OpenNode allows anyone to accept Bitcoin instantly using their second layer scaling solution. Please welcome Kevin to the stage.
The payments industry is currently inaccessible by many or inefficiently processed. OpenNode is positioned to service everyone worldwide with a better payment solution powered by Bitcoin. OpenNode is the fastest, most secure payments platform for anyone using the internet. Traditional payment processors restrict different businesses, industries, and nations, thus limiting them from traditional financial services. OpenNode currently has no restrictions and is used by Bitcoin and is thus able to service everyone worldwide. Our mission is to help create a borderless economy where every payment is powered by Bitcoin. We have created a user-friendly Bitcoin payment platform utilizing the power of the Lightning Network. The Lightning Network provides instant settlement, no chargeback fraud, and minimal fees. Here are a few of our target industries. Exchanges. Current Bitcoin exchanges take at least 10 minutes to settle. With OpenNode, that is now instant. Gaming. The gaming industry will now be changed by microtransactions, creating a brand new, never-before-seen experience for gamers. E-commerce. The e-commerce industry is currently plagued by billions of dollars in chargeback fraud. With OpenNode, chargeback fraud is eliminated with instant settlement and instant payments. The unbanked. There are over 2 billion people worldwide who currently do not have access to proper financial services. With OpenNode, they can now be serviced. The perfect example is Venezuela and the hyperinflated Bolivar. Bitcoin adoption will be done with sound design. My co-founders and I helped design the first open source consumer-facing Lightning Network wallet and created the first Bitcoin design studio dedicated to creating simple Bitcoin products. We have a simple fee structure, 1% across the board for all of our users. To transact and simply change it to your local currency is just a simple additional fee. This allows for instant settlement and becomes a global solution. We started OpenNode, or launched out of beta, last October. Since then, we received funding by Tim Draper and have grown exponentially ever since. Our numbers don't lie. Payments are being done with Bitcoin every day. We aim to reintroduce Bitcoin to the rest of the world by creating a simple payment solution for all. You can reach out to us at opennode.co or follow us on OpenNode.co on Twitter. Together, we create simple Bitcoin payments for all. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Kevin. That was awesome. The next startup are helping brands increase sales and reduce returns through web-based AR, and they are called Seek. Welcome to the stage, John.
How are you doing, Collision? Augmented reality. The world's changing right now. And I'm sure a lot of you in here, or at least people that you saw a couple years ago running around with their phones right here trying to find some Pokemon. And augmented reality has come a long way since then. We heard some great speakers today from Unity and other places talking about that. When I saw Pokemon Go, I said, that's a pretty cool technology, but I think there's maybe something better we can do with it. Pretty interesting stat. Consumers are 30% more likely to purchase a product after viewing it in AR. That's a big number. Brands are paying attention to that. Here's some of the ones that have been using it for the last couple of years. Wayfair, IKEA, Amazon, those are the biggest names in the world in retail. Big problem though, they're all stuck inside of an app, right? Who here likes downloading brand apps? I don't see any hands, right? Nobody likes to do that. On average, people download 0 apps a month. And if you do download an app, you're probably going to get one of these big guys. So brands are fighting this huge uphill battle to try to get this to happen. So what we did is we got rid of it. We said, hey, let's take this to the web. Let's let people on iOS, on Android devices, even on a desktop, be able to see products in 3D and in augmented reality without ever having to download an app. Anybody that has a phone here could point at that QR code and have a Harley Davidson appear right in front of them. That's pretty powerful, right? Being able to do that in a very, very simple way is awesome. There's a lot of brands using this now. Overstock.com, we just announced a huge partnership with them on Monday, the largest AR installation in the world. The market's ready for it right now. The cost has come down. You can see with that yellow line going down, and the hardware penetration has gone up. All of you have one of these in your pocket, and they're all capable of doing incredible augmented reality features and functions that are related to gaming, and of course, what we're doing here with e-commerce. You can more confidently purchase things. We have some incredible technology and an amazing team that's doing things that leaders like Lego right here. What you've done is impossible, right? We're bringing the 3D formats are not as easy as pictures, right? 20 years ago, it was really hard to deal with all the different formats of pictures and compression and lots of different complicated things that I won't bore you with today. But 3D is way harder. There's 6 dimensions, right? You have to deal with a lot more. You have to make it look real, lighting, all kinds of things. And our team has over 50 years of combined experience in the 3D and AR space to make this possible. We're future-proofing content. There's the iOS and the Android phones today, but there's Magic Leap and Apple glasses and things that are coming to the mainstream, and we make that possible for brands today. We're headed towards $5 million in ARR this year, and we're growing very, very quickly. Thank you so much.
Well done from Seek. Okay, so it's not easy to stand up here and pitch these kind of startups. These guys have just been absolutely killing it. This next company has come to us all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. CoraPay is enabling Africans to live easier and better lives with access to financial services. The co-founders are Brian and Dixon. I'm going to call up Dixon Nosofor, the CEO of CoraPay.
There are 1.3 billion people in Africa, and 60% don't have access to financial services. Let me rephrase that. Over 800 million people in Africa don't have access to financial services as I speak right now. Cash is the problem. People pay bills, people save, and people receive money from abroad in cash. Now, one of the consequences of cash is that cash needs to change hands in order to change hands. And that means there's no way we can prove transactions that are done in cash. This particular phenomenon keeps people tied down to the poverty circle. Despite all these inefficiencies, over $45 billion was received last year by Africans in Africa. Now imagine there was a platform that could board all 800 million people without cash exchanging hands at a fraction of the cost today. My name is Dixon Nosofor, and I'm the CEO at CoraPay. We make it easy for people to access financial services in Africa. We've built our first product, and we've gone live, terminating transactions from the United States of America into West Africa. We achieved 3 major milestones. Firstly, we dropped transaction time from 48 hours down to 23 minutes. We dropped the transaction cost from 9% down to 1%. And we interest you to know it's all done digitally. We wanted more from our product, and so we evolved the product into a product that is tightly tied into the daily lives of our users, more like a financial life partner. And so, let's use the product. Amanda in West Africa wants to receive money from her mom in the United States. Her mom in the United States simply boards the CoraPay platform, submits her information, and sends the transaction. Amanda, on the other hand, receives a payment link, downloads the CoraPay app, and in 23 minutes, she receives the transaction in her wallet. She can now pay every single bill in the country. She can send to any bank account, any of her friends, and receive from anyone seamlessly, and even cash out. As we evolve in this product, we plan in the future to build an ecosystem of world-class financial services, an ecosystem that understands our users and in turn offer them services like savings, access to microloans, and investment options. And I'm pleased to announce to you today on this stage, in our quest to build an ecosystem of world-class financial services, through the help of Techstars Toronto, we've headquartered CoraPay to Toronto, Canada, the city of dreams. We're able to charge just 1% and return the bulk of the money to those who need it the most, Amanda and the rest of those in Africa. Let's take a second to think about what we're doing. We're enabling access to financial services on a continent that is the next blue ocean. Africa is becoming China's China. And in order for us to harness this economic growth, there needs to be a leapfrog through technology. Join us as we usher in prosperity in Africa. Thank you.
Well done, CoraPay. All right, our next pitcher is an AI and machine learning startup from Canada. Please welcome Peter to the stage representing Applied Brain Research.
Hello, everybody. I'm Peter from Applied Brain Research. We make software and a new kind of computer chip for making brains for cars, phones, drones. You know, AI is exploding. There's about 2 trillion devices projected to be in service at the edge. So devices, it's no longer about your phone and just the car and just the drone. It's intelligence put into products of all size and description. There is a problem. The CPU and the GPU. This is how we compute AI today. Microsoft, when that chip first came out, said, wait a minute, there's a better way to compute. Let's build software. You need an operating system, you need a compiler, you need libraries. NVIDIA came along and said, what are you doing computing graphics on a CPU? It's slow. Let's compute the sheets on the hardware. Well, we looked at how edge AI is being computed today. We said the same thing. We're from the University of Waterloo, Center for Theoretical Neurosciences and Systems Design Engineering. We've been looking at brains, and there's a couple of obvious things about brains. You use 20 watts of power to compute all of your intelligence, sensing, thinking, motor, etc. Neurons compute individually. Why are we not doing that? If you had your dream list, you would have chips that had neurons right on the chip. The chip would learn itself, as opposed to sending weights to memory and back. You would use spikes like brains do, processing signals. Intelligence is a real-time problem. And you would be massively parallel in processing. So welcome to Nengo. This is how you build brains. Inspired by 20 years of brain research and leading scientists, you can do it today. Intel selected us as their software partner for the new Loihi brain chip, which has been in development for 6 years. Still with Intel Labs, but coming soon. We also built 2 of our own chips, a small FPGA and a mid-size ASIC chip. Here, it's 110 times better than the NVIDIA GPU, 20 times better than their best edge GPU. This is the most exciting slide. You scale up problems, so that autonomous car of yours, traffic predictors, all of the other things it has, you load up our chips, they don't slow down, and they don't consume more power. We built the world's largest brain model using these principles called Spawn. We sell 3 things: tools, the actual applications to major customers, and we do advanced AI research for the military. We're scaling up now and adding developers and distributors. Built by a team from the University of Waterloo, lots of PhDs in neuroscience and AI. We have a leading team, the best power and scale benchmarks that are out, and we have multiple tier 1 global customers and partners, including LG, BMW, and others. We're Applied Brain Research. We want to take the lessons from how your brain works and bring it to the edge AI to make better products and services, cars, phones, drones, and cameras. Thank you very much.
Well done. Thank you. So next up, number 13, Spero Foods. They're reinventing dairy and eggs with patent-pending products, and leading the pitch is Federa. Please welcome Federa.
"15 years ago, plant-based dairy barely comprised 1% of the US market. But fast forward to today, and 1 in 2 US consumers is trying plant-based dairy. But most of these consumers are not fully adopting these products into their diets. And why is that? Because the current products just aren't good enough. Recent research shows us that consumers want plant-based dairy that has better taste, that is cheaper, that is more nutritious, and that is clean label, free from ingredients like soy and preservatives. At Spero, we are reinventing dairy and eggs from plants. Our products are unparalleled in taste, are affordable, are high in protein and natural nutrition, and are clean label. As an added bonus, they're more environmentally sustainable. But not only are our products game-changing, so is our approach. As a former software engineer at Facebook, having studied biosciences and engineering at Cornell University, we are driving innovation at Spero at the confluence of bioresearch and data science. With pending patents filed under the world's leading biotechnology firm, Spero will be entering into every major dairy and egg category as we scale. But don't just listen to me. Hear what our customers have to say. And they go crazy for Spero, even saying that Spero and Impossible Foods are the game-changing food companies in the United States. Backed by Y Combinator, Soma Capital, and angels who were early in Stitch Fix, Cruise, and Uber, Spero is disrupting the dairy market, and we're scaling incredibly fast. So we are Spero, the Beyond Meat of dairy and eggs. Thank you.
All right. 13 startups have pitched, and now only 1 semi-finalist remains. Now, last but not least, please give a warm welcome to our last pitcher of the semifinal, Open Ocean Robotics. Ocean Robotics produce solar and wind-powered boats to collect ocean data. Pitching for them today is June.
Hello, everybody. My name is Julie Angus. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Open Ocean Robotics. I have spent a lot of time in small boats. When I rowed across the Atlantic Ocean with my boyfriend, who is now my husband, we were hit by 2 hurricanes. This taught me a lot about how small boats perform in big waves and has led us to build ocean drones that are more heavily ruggedized, maneuverable, and faster than anything else. 95% of our oceans are unexplored, yet they're fundamental to the health of our planet and a $2.5 trillion ocean economy. But to understand our oceans, we need a better way to collect ocean data, one that is more affordable, easier, and safer. Our wind-powered autonomous drone can go out on the ocean for months, collecting data and instantly communicating it, providing actionable insights. Our solar-powered drone has even more power for sensors, better maneuverability, and faster speeds. And this MVP that we're currently building is based on our prototype designs. We are a data-as-a-service company. We go out there and collect the ocean data our clients need. We use AI and machine learning to better understand that data and create a subscription database for ocean insights that will help build an Internet of Things for the ocean. We are targeting markets in defense, offshore energy, and environmental research, which spend over $1 trillion collecting ocean data. And this gives us a serviceable, obtainable market of $700 million in annual reoccurring revenue. We outperform existing drones. Our boats are more maneuverable, they're easier to use, and they have faster speeds. And we're more affordable than research ships and buoys, and we can collect data that others can't. We have 2 pending patents. We've raised almost $1 million in support. We're working with the Department of Fisheries and Oceans to monitor endangered killer whales and the Coast Guard to map shipping waterways. We're currently raising our seed round of $1.2 million to help us accelerate these pilot demonstrations. I have a graduate degree in molecular biology, and along with our co-founder and CTO, we built a previous boat company, and we've led ocean expeditions that earned us the National Geographic Adventure of the Year award. We recruited Dr. Brian Howell for his expertise in autonomous systems, and Jameson and Evan for their electrical engineering skills. We have amazing advisors and partners. We envision a future where energy-independent boats are crisscrossing our ocean, preventing illegal fishing, cleaning up pollution, and helping build sustainable ocean economies. We are Canada's only autonomous boat company, and we have innovations that will allow us to be global leaders. Thank you.
Well done. Just bring it up, yeah. Thanks.
Sorry.
I'll just take it, yeah. Okay. So, that was phenomenal. Center stage audience, I want everyone to give a huge round of applause to these 14 semi-finalists. So, the judges' scores are now going to be counted and verified, and the top 3 scoring startups will be announced in just a few minutes. We were going to do this live, but you've noticed that this building has been suffering from some pretty severe Wi-Fi outages, so we're going to actually do a manual count in the back here. And in the meantime, my co-host and Canadian friend here and I are just going to ask the judges for a few impressions. And I'm going to start. I mentioned earlier that these were VCs on stage. There are a couple of exceptions. And for those in Toronto, you might see this man, Dwight, on TV every night on CBC. I'm going to start with you. You're not a normal pitch scoring guy, but what do you think of these startups?
I'm impressed with the variety of the companies and the ideas. I was really interested in the straw one too, because I've tried those paper straws. They don't work. I would never think that somebody would come up with seaweed straws. I thought that was pretty innovative.
And I saw it had CBC Research as well on the screen, right?
Actually, somebody else did, but we do appreciate the plug and the shout out, yes.
Okay. Good stuff, Dwight.
All right, over on this side, what's your name?
Whitney Sales.
And what is the fund you represent?
Acceleprise Ventures.
Okay, and so what did you think of the pitches today?
The pitches today were great. It was great to see the variety of companies that were coming out, both doing good as well as building businesses. So really excited to see. I really like the Africa Pay platform.
Okay, great.
I'll just move over here. Just introduce yourself and tell us what you thought of the pitch and maybe even if you had a favorite.
Sure. Hi, I'm MayC Huang. I'm an early stage VC at Charles River Ventures, CRV, based out of San Francisco. I was really impressed with the variety of pitches, kind of geographically, a lot that were doing very good, a lot focused on sustainability. I was really impressed, and with some of the kind of deep technology side of things as well. If I had to pick a favorite, it would probably also be the African technology one. I thought that was a really interesting market to go after.
All right, so over here, I have Alex from Giphy. Who did you like the best?
So I'm the lone entrepreneur here, which I've pitched. We've raised $150 million for the company, so I've been here multiple times, and the people pitching here were way better than I were. so if there's VCs, I hope they do well. So I thought all of them were pretty impressive, and I liked. They were all hitting markets that I would not have thought of. So Crowdmark, finding automated ways to grade tests. I have a lot of friends that are teachers, and they come home with stacks all day. Someone had to tackle that problem. It's obvious that is a huge problem, not only in education, but in any kind of manual grading process. And so that one struck out for me.
Yeah, great.
Okay, so I've done a lot of the semi-pitch finals at web summits and collisions all over the world, from Dublin to Lisbon, New Orleans, Las Vegas, and I'll be going to Rise with Casey soon. I think this was the highest quality semi-final class in history. It's a testament to the way that companies are selected and also to just a lot of homegrown talent here in Toronto. So there's a guy here, Murray McCaig. He's a clean tech investor of high acclaim here in Canada. What did you think?
Well, we invest in any technologies that are great for the planet, so I was really impressed to see the kind of environmentally friendly technologies here on stage. And it's not easy to get up here and pitch in front of a great crowd, so a big round of applause for all these entrepreneurs. Very exciting.
All right, what's your name and who are you representing?
Zach Bratun and Gradient Ventures.
Okay, so maybe instead of picking your favorite one, maybe did you notice anything that stood out in terms of the pitch quality to kind of give advice to like the other startups that are going to pitch maybe here next year?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there were great pitches throughout. I think some of the clarity, some of the getting right to the value prop, and getting right to thinking about, investors. There's certain categories where you're skeptical about certain things, whether it be a consumer-based product, where how are you going to acquire consumers or things like that. So I really appreciate some of the folks that got right to the heart of what investors will question.
Great, excellent.
Nice.
Good.
Okay, Jocelyn, a Bay Area VC. Just tell us about yourself, and also what is a Bay Area VC's perspective on all these great startups here in Canada?
Sure. I represent Zeta Venture Partners. We invest in AI and big data startups with B2B business models. And like everybody, I think the most salient thing about the whole group is just with the wide span in stage, in sector, in problem solved. I think Spero definitely stood out to me as a product that I, as a consumer, would want to buy. I got to give some love to the B2B, though. They don't necessarily have the sexiest, pitch to consumers, but I think a lot about the job implications of AI and jobs being automated. And I think there's clearly an absolute existential need to retrain and reskill people through the course of their careers. And I hope that AI can be part of that solution, not just the source of the problem. So I'll give a nod to Skyhive.
Okay, Jocelyn, thank you.
What's your name, sir, and what are you representing today?
Hi, I'm Jules Walker. I'm with the emerging tech practice of KPMG.
Oh, KPMG. So what did you think of the pitches today?
I thought the pitches were great. I've participated previously in some of the earlier stages. It's great to be here on the semifinal stage. I really like the theme across several other companies in sustainability and environmental type of products. I thought that was great.
Okay, great.
I'm going to ask Kim Furlow here. Kim represents the entire VC and private equity industry across Canada. This is your first collision, I'm going to guess. What did you think of the quality, and should we be excited about the future of venture deals in this country?
Oh, we should be more than excited. This was an amazing group of people pitching. It gives you a sense of the quality of companies that were growing. From my perspective, there was some feedback in terms of some of the pitch could have been a bit maybe more crisper in terms of their market opportunities. I felt there's a couple of people that didn't really sell us on the size of the market. My two favorites, Corapay and Lollyware. I think she's onto something. Corapay and Lollyware.
Lollyware.
Yes.
Great. Hi, what's your name and where are you from?
Andy, I'm 12, which is Microsoft's venture arm.
All right, so what is the negative thing that you saw up there?
Really rough. I thought everybody was really impressive and serving some really underserved markets. Great to see so many female founders on stage. It's really hard to focus on the negative. Yeah, round of applause for that. It's a lot harder for everybody. A lot harder for the females. I think that just seeing some of the enterprise customers that are being served is really great, and really talking about like the traction with customers is one I want to hear more of. So I think that'd be the one negative thing. It's really hard to pick any, but really excited to see them serving underserved customers and excited about some of these companies.
Do we read it in order? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we were set to stall for a very long time, Casey and I, but we're done. We have the three winners.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to be put up on screen right now. The companies are not going to come on stage to take a bow, but you will see them tomorrow. So the three victorious startups who are going to take place in tomorrow's pitch final are, they're going to move this screen, You go number one. That's interesting. Right there.
The number one finalists?
Oh, it's in no order. You read number one.
Only where?
So it's so interesting that we heard these names. Number two is Corapay.
And number three is Spero Foods.
Spero Foods.
Awesome.
Oh, I didn't realize it's on the bloody screen
Congratulations to
behind
the
me.
three. Let's give a massive thank you to our judges, all of them up here, to everyone who participated in the semifinal. It was not obviously an easy decision, but you all did an amazing job. Today, the power is in our judges' hands. However, tomorrow in the grand finale, you, the audience, get to take some of that power back and become the fourth judge. Make sure you're back here tomorrow at 12:40 p.m. and have your say in who becomes the champion of Pitch Collision 2019.
Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow.